Hey there, folks. My name is Yippee Coyote. I am the leading the panel on basic fursuiting here. I've been fursuiting now for umpteen zillion years. I've been furry for 20-some years. I've done professional mascot work, volunteer work with a local organization called Critters by the Bay. I consider myself more of a performer rather than a builder, though I do build my own suits. So there's they just kind of gave me this panel, just said basic fursuiting, and I'm not sure which direction what folks want to actually go into. Let me start with how many people have fursuits? So more than half of folks. Who is planning to acquire a fursuit in the near future? Oh, cool, cool. It looks like basically everyone is either acquiring a fursuit or has one, so probably skip over the part about acquiring one. And so I'm coming at things more of as a performing aspect, a performing focus. Something I want to just sort of touch on briefly is on the aspects of character. Something that I speak very personally about performing is that when you're in suit, you're not really yourself. And this gives you kind of a license to do pretty much anything within reason, within like the laws of society and nature and things. It's a temporary form of magic, and they talk about the magic as in ruining the magic, but the performing is a form of magic, I think, in that you're creating a character that is something beyond just a regular human. You allows you to escape into that character. Reinforcing that is carrying yourself differently, walking. Some characters talk in a particular voice that's not really your own. That's another form of extending the character. Sorry, just a lot to just go into here. I'm curious of the suits that you have, how many are your personal character, your fursona? This is you with fur. How many? A few. Now, something that it's a personal kind of qualm of. I hear from people about performing that I don't have to perform, it's just me with fur. Something that I want to point out is that you don't normally have fur on. So this can be you plus. This can be an idealized form of yourself. Put all those aspects of yourself that you feel you have or you wish you had. And what I feel is important there is that when you've got this character separation, this is you plus. This is not you plus. This form of character separation gives you some protection of if you're shy, this is not you, and if people think you're stupid for flailing around, it's not you. It's this character. That helps build up that idea of protection, character separation. I think I started off with something possibly a bit too highbrow at the moment, but okay. Now, at the very basic, fursuiting is considered a strenuous activity. You're putting your body in basically a walking carpet, and it's going to be hot. You're going to sweat a lot, so you're going to have to take that into account. What some people wear under their suits, they'll wear Under Armour or spandex that helps transfer the sweat away from your body. Can also protect you from the fur. Sometimes fur has itchy backing, and this tends to absorb a certain amount of sweat, so you can hang that dry as your suit dries separately between wearings at conventions. Between wearings, you'll want to clean it. You'll want to disinfect your suit. What I tend to do is some people use industrial type disinfectants like NBAC or Lysol, or Walmart sells a particular brand that is similar to NBAC, which is what they use in institutions. That can tend to leave residue in the suit that after a while can't break it down. So one school of thought is to use isopropyl alcohol, probably about 70% or watered down. Some people actually I've heard they'll get cheap rock gut vodka and use that to spray out their suit because it's cheaper than, I don't know, it's cheaper than buying the isopropyl, I don't know. And you can drink it. So I'm not advising this. Don't drink it. As far as there other care for suits is that check with your builder if the fur is machine washable. You want to make sure that you wash it in cold water, never warm or hot, because the heat will damage the fur. It's plastic, and heat will tend to, it'll curl it or actually singe it, and I've seen people ruin suits that way. And never, ever, ever, ever put it in the dryer. I've seen people who trust their dryers implicitly when on the air fluff setting will have absolutely zero heat. That's something you can do, but generally what I do is I'll run the spin cycle like an extra time. That'll get a large portion of the water out. I will put the suit on fans. There's a fan, a wetsuit drying fan that's available, I think, off Amazon from. It's called Hang Air, and it's used for wetsuit drying. It has a removable hook that makes it pack down a little easier for travel, and I've actually brought it with me to the convention here. So and you can hang it up, and that helps things dry out between uses at the convention.
That's that fan inside.
Yeah, it's like a wide plastic hanger that has basically a computer case fan in there. And I've seen people actually, aftermarket, replace that case fan with a more powerful one and knock people over with it or something. You'll may also want to carry a portable head fan just for drying heads, something you can put the head on top of. Something I've noticed that people will put their heads on fans to dry them out. Something you may want to keep in mind is that the salts from your sweat will stay there. So after a while, when you're wearing your head again, after wearing it a lot and it's dry, your sweat will start to dissolve these residue salts in there and it'll get into your eyes and give you salt stain. So something I do when I recommend when you bring your suit back to your room, to get out, you may want to dab out the inside of the head from any residual sweat there that hopefully will pull some of the salts out. Heads can be washed to some extent. You may want to check with your builder to see what they recommend. Some people will actually go so far as to put a head in a pillowcase and put it in the washer. I think Joe does that. And the eyes in the head can, some of them have water soluble dyes in there, so you want, or airbrushing on it that you want to be mindful for. Talk to your builder. And see what they recommend. As far as spot cleaning, some people have white fur that will catch all kinds of dirt. Something that's recommended is a carpet cleaner called Folex. I'd also seen people use OxyClean with a toothbrush to sort of scrub out the surface wash the suits. Any other questions regarding fursuit upkeep, maintenance, that kind of thing? Yes, in the back?
I had a friend who had a fursuit, and she got the brilliant idea to use this, if you've ever seen this spray-on for hair,
Okay.
hair dyes.
Okay.
And tried that on her fursuit. Fortunately, it overdid it,
Mm-hmm.
and it went all over. So I tried using an OxyClean and a small
Okay.
brush, but it got like OxyClean all over. I was wondering, do you have a recommended ratio of how much powder to water I should be using if it was too much? Why? Because it just was like going everywhere and like crystallizing in the eyes.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really have a recommended ratio on that. A good resource I found that it's back in the days of LiveJournal. There's a community called fursuit.livejournal.com. In the profile, they've got all sorts of links to resources for builders, for upkeep, for maintenance, and there may be a question there that addresses that. It's like a very involved FAQ there. So I'm sorry, I don't know this offhand. So,
That's fine.
any other upkeep questions? Okay. As far as heat aspects, this is it's going to be hot, and especially if you're someplace like Anthrocon, Pittsburgh, for example, or God forbid, Arizona FurCon in Phoenix. It's going to be hot. So this is a strenuous activity you're getting yourself into. So you want to keep in mind, listen to your body, what it's telling you. You'll definitely want to stay hydrated. There's a certain point, though, that you can get too hydrated. I don't offhand know the level of the amount of hydration necessary for actually overhydration, but there's a certain amount of water you want to drink at a stretch. You don't want to like drink a gallon right now, for example. Exaggerating a bit, but I don't have the figures in front of me. Listen to your body, see what it's telling you regarding that. One rule of thumb I've heard, at least from the folks stationed in desert parts of the world, is the golden rule. If your urine is golden, you're dehydrating, so you may want to up your water intake there. Now, something you want to stay away from is carbonated or sugared beverages when you're suiting. The carbonation can upset your stomach. And you really don't want to overdo it on the sugar. And a point of recommendation is avoid alcohol. Some people like, in some ratios they want it's a part of convention. I'm not saying don't drink. So just be mindful of this, moderation in everything, and with experience, you kind of learn your limits and listen to yourself. And don't lose control. You don't want to be the guy stuck at with the EMTs looking at you. Don't push yourself too hard. Moderation in everything. That just listen to yourself. Any questions regarding hydration and such? Yes?
What about use of, say, stuff like Gatorade, Powerade, sports drinks type style? Would that still fall under the sugar rule, or would that possibly still be good with the electrolytes and vitamins and such?
Yeah, Gatorade is a good thing to replenish after you've exerted yourself. I wouldn't recommend only drinking Gatorade. You may want to water it down since. You'll want to drink room temperature water and liquids. Cold can possibly shock your system. And I think that I've heard recommendation that if it's too cold, your body has to kind of warm it up to get the to be able to absorb it. I don't have figures on that. Did I answer your question? Yes.
How effective are those water cooling vests with an ice pack?
Yes, I was going to get to that next. The recommendation there is there's particular phase change vests which have a critical point of about, I think, 65 degrees, and those would be recommended over just using straight up ice for several reasons. That the ice, the critical point is 32, and if you have that up against your skin, it's you're going to get frostbite. So the phase change vests, they have a critical point more amenable to your body temperature, and as they're melting, they maintain a temperature. I think it's 60 degrees. That's much more recommended, and also you can recharge them in a bucket of ice water. So bring them back to your room, a bucket of ice water, and they're good to go for the next trip out. I don't personally use them myself, since I think they're kind of bulky, and a number of my suits are kind of form-fitting for better. So it's a point of preference. If you're going to be going somewhere like outside a convention, if you're doing like a 4th of July parade and you're going to be in suit for 2-3 hours, you'll want to invest in something like that. Also, on a matter of heat with public performance, is that odd segue here. That you want to be mindful of your exit strategies. What happens if you're not feeling well? You suddenly start taking, you become overcome, you get the symptoms of heat exhaustion. And something to note, if you just suddenly stop sweating, you're in trouble. And that's when you know you need to take a break, or just get completely out of suit. With conventions, it's sort of like performing on training wheels, since you have headless lounges nearby. You have people who know and understand fursuiting and fursuits and are generally respective of you. They won't go pulling your tail and trying to take you away. But out in the real world, and you'll want to have an escort, someone going with you, to keep an eye on you, make sure you're okay, keep an eye out for possible obstacles, and both stationary and moving, like kids outside of your field of vision, because it's like you see everything here down, you can't see. So spotters are important for outside appearances, and if you're going out for the first time and at a convention, you may want to have someone going with you to keep an eye on you, make sure you're okay, and stay hydrated, know where the headless lounges are, etc. And on the more performing aspect, a spotter can also be kind of your straight man for your comedy team. If you have a good rapport with a spotter, they can they can be a speaker for you if you are of the traditional mascotting mindset of not speaking, which is where I'm coming from. Some people have speaking characters, and that's a whole different exercise, a whole different set of performing muscles. That you know, if you're confident with that, you have a moving mouth. That it's a point of preference there. Any questions regarding spotters, escorts, and public suiting? No. Sorry, I usually have some presentation notes that seem to have been deleted from the server. Yay, technology, right? Okay, we don't need to care what to wear under suits. Yeah, specifics about what to wear. I don't know if you have personal preferences on what you prefer wearing under your suits. Me, I wear a set of Under Armour, a shirt and bike shorts, bike level shorts, and a spandex balaclava, which they tend to absorb enough, some of the sweat out of it, and I can just hang these dry. I will tend to rinse them out, wring it out, and hang it up for just to get the sweat out, the salts out, that sort of thing. Some people will actually go so far they'll wear just t-shirts. There's a school of thought that actually will wear cotton under a suit since it tends to absorb sweat more. But note that it'll absorb sweat and then it'll take a while to dry. So if you prefer cotton, that's a point of preference. And just be mindful, it's going to take a while to dry out. Let's see. Back to the aspects of performance and character. Something I like to do when experimenting with character is that you may want to try is have a full-length mirror, just so you can see who is staring back at you. Once you get in full suit, what is staring back? Who is this person? What are they about? This isn't you. This is something different. And you're bringing this into the world. People will see not you, but this character. So what do you think of this? Where is this character coming from? Other things to note about that are the features on your face and your body. Where are your eyes? Because not all suits, so you look through the eyes. How long's your muzzle? Where that is, where your ears are. If you have like horns or antennas or other things, keep those in mind. How tall you are, how tall, like if you've got antlers, how tall those are. So you can keep in mind, you know, elevator doors or low hallways, that kind of thing. Get to know this character, where the extent of your body is. Some suits have padding, and lots of padding, like digitigrade padding. And something I also like to do is just feel out your face and the extent of your body. Sometimes it's bigger than you are. This character is bigger than you are. And you can, if it's a heavy character, you can watch this heavy character. How do they carry themselves? A lumbering character will carry themselves differently and they'll press down as they're walking. With that, when you develop you look at the character. How do they walk? How do they carry themselves? How do they see the world? What are they about? When they can have a particular attitude, expression. What does their face look like? You know what? Because you're not starting from zero. People see the character. What does it look like? Example: if say someone dresses up as Darth Vader. Now, people see Darth Vader. They know what the character is about. They get the idea, the attitude. So if you're dressed as Darth Vader, you don't have to go knocking everyone over with your lightsaber, because people know that about the character, and you just have to kind of maintain that level, that attitude, that expression with the way you carry yourself. You don't start from zero. See who's staring back and how to maintain the illusion of that is a character. Things to note, how, as I said, how you carry yourself, the weight, the gravity of the character, or the lightness of the character. If you've got, if you have a spry cartoon bunny, you're going to carry yourself differently than just walking to the bus stop. See, I'm out of suit, so I'm like, carry yourself differently. See how you're light, your body is light, you're pushing yourself up. And thing also to note about that is when you're developing that, know how much energy you're expending doing that. You don't want to keep doing that for an entire fursuit parade that's going for a mile. Know your limits, and you can tone it down. Something I make the example of is that when you're dancing, you don't have to use your entire body. You can use just your upper body to keep yourself moving. It's less energy to expend if it's just the upper part of the body and you're kind of shuffling back and forth. You'll be able to spend a lot longer on the dance floor that way. Any questions at this point regarding character? If you've got a particular character question, that's kind of where I'm coming from as a performer.
And I take it for reading, so.
Okay.
No, I can't. There's not enough room for me to get through.
Hi there. This is basic fursuiting, and I'm taking a moment to go over my notes here. As far as let's see, character inspiration, places you can draw from. Watch a lot of cartoons. Something you may want to do is just watch children, how they interact, how they play. And watch animals, the way they behave and carry themselves and interact with each other. For example, dogs have a particular way they play, and cats are more aloof, for example. And you can incorporate the aspects of the animal into your character. I have one cat character who just I performed canine characters for a long time and just recently got a cat character. And cats will be aloof and tend to they'll groom themselves. It's something that as an idle action, something that helps with keeping a character alive is have an idle action, something that you tend to do if you're stuck just standing there waiting, for example, and people are watching you. Because that, if you're familiar with video games, if you leave the character still for too long, it starts doing something to keep it interesting. And if people are watching you do something interesting, you want to groom yourself, groom your ears here, just something fidgety. If you have a fidgety character, you can shuffle your fingers or something. Or if you have a curious character, you go around a lot. Another thing about looking around a lot is it helps. That helps with maintaining field of vision, because you're limited to these tiny little eye holes. And if you look around a lot, that kind of sweeps the area and makes you look alive. As far as pantomime and and actions. This is that non-speaking school of thought is I usually reserve that for outside the convention, because you know, to be honest, we're here partly to perform, partly to see friends, and if there's nothing saying that you have to maintain total silence, or if you have a character that has a moving jaw, and with the intent of it being a speaking character. Some people have good success with that, and if you've seen Jeannie's character Buddy, the husky who's like very lively, animated, and basically JD describes him as a kid without a filter. He just talks about whatever comes to mind, and with no matter what rating where it goes to, and the character is very naive, and it's a whole different set of performing muscles there. And as a story of how he developed that character is he just sort of he put the head on, stared in the mirror, and saw what was staring back, and he got this idea that because the big wide eyes and the lolling tongue, it just looked like this completely naive character, and so he started talking like this, and oh my God, hi! He's very excitable, and so it became a lively character and very fun to watch. And he has fun performing the character and interacting with people, and people have fun interacting and watching the character. Yeah, I have a personal rule that says fursuiting is probably the most fun thing you can do, and that is what drives me. Because when I go out there, I try to have fun, and I think that when people watch me having fun, they have fun too. General public. Some things about, more things about general public, and probably also useful at conventions to some extent, is interacting with kids. Kids can be curious, but also hesitant to interact because you're this big fuzzy thing. Some basic notes are that, first off, you want to get down to their level. You want to get down on one knee. I've seen people both knees, or something if you've got big paws. One thing I'd seen was actually putting one knee on the other paw so that your knee isn't touching the floor. That keeps it, cleaner. Now that you're down at their level, let the child come to you. Don't go into that. They have a bubble around them. That when they first see you and they're hesitant, they have this bubble around you, and you don't want to break that bubble. But as you get down on one knee, you get down to their level, and you make small moves. You may want to wave at them. I've seen at theme parks, parents, in the essence of trying to help the child enjoy this experience, they'll push strollers in your face, and the kid will be screaming, ah! So just watch the bubble and try to gain the trust. And if the kid is warming up to you, that you can wave and put your arms out for a hug. Something to note about hugs: you want to hug only up on the upper body, and if for pictures, make sure your paws are visible. You don't. That's a rule at theme parks. It helps with well, I said the paws over on my ass, so yeah. If the paws are visible, there's no gray area as far as liability there. Speaking of liability, back on the aspect of escorts, spotters, is that they're also a witness. If you ever get into a situation of what were they doing, what was the character doing with those giant paws that were everywhere, you have a witness on your side, someone to be on your side. something back on the subject of knowing the costume is that know your line of vision. That if you have a character that has doesn't see through the eyes, for example, or that you'll want to find the sort of sweet spot where it looks like your character is staring at the camera, and every time you go for a picture, move your head to that level. For example, I've got a reindeer who sees through the mouth. So in order for the reindeer to look straight ahead, I'm staring at a triangle on the ground. That helps nothing breaks the illusion like, you get a picture with a mascot and they're staring at the ceiling, just so that the person can see through the mouth. Let's see, photo. All right, I'm at a moment. Any questions so far? Any thoughts?
So you're suiting, glasses.
Yeah, glasses.
Those fog up really quick.
Yeah, I'd had experience with anti-fog solutions that they use for scuba diving. That's one possibility. I'd seen, don't quote me on this one, I think that if you take a layer of if you put soap on them, I heard that somewhere. I don't recall the specifics of that. But I did have a character who had a visor as part of the costume, and I used some anti-fog solution on the inside of the visor to keep it from fogging up. The glasses are something that I hadn't personally experienced, and other people have different ways of doing that. Some will just get contacts specifically for fursuiting, or go so far as to get LASIK. I know. Find something. Yeah. Yes.
Thing is, if you're having the head built, to make sure they know that you have the glasses and you get the measurements beforehand.
Yeah, good point. I had a friend borrow a suit, and she wore glasses, so it didn't fit inside the very tight-fitting head, so she couldn't end up fursuiting. So her break there, but find something that works for you. Any further questions here? I've got all these things to go over that. Headless lounge etiquette. That's a good point. The headless lounge or headless zone, as Anthrocon calls it, is a no photography zone. That's just the rule. Don't take pictures of characters with their heads off, if they're in that area. I mean, if someone's taking their head off in a corridor or something, and well, in general, taking pictures of people, it's polite to just ask,
Some places also you can only get into those rooms if you're actually in suit or a handler. They don't have the general public.
Yeah, that's a good point. That you have to have they have some places they have someone guarding the door just to make sure. As a point of etiquette, just don't linger in the headless lounge too long. I mean, you're there to take a break, but you can socialize a bit. But if you're spending your entire convention just in the headless lounge, that's not really what it's there for. It's for taking a break, and you don't want to use up resources that other people may need at the time. Yeah, they're allowed a handler. Something that's been kind of a hot topic is the head cooling fans. Is that I'd seen some places actually have disinfectant wipes to wipe down the those head fan trees when you put your head on the PVC. That since it's touching someone's sweat, on there and then taking the head off, that's a possible vector for spreading of germs. It's something to keep in mind. Oh yeah, no touching other people's property. It's just a point of politeness that you don't want to like grab someone's head without asking, or just put it on. Jeez, it's other people's property. Be respectful. That was just a good point about respect. That when you're in suit, you have kind of a license to do just about anything, to a point. And it's a matter of respect of other people's property. One thing that was drilled into our heads at the parks is not to take anyone's property. Like, for example, if there's a kid with a baseball cap, you don't want to take it off them, because you don't know, maybe they're wearing that hat for a reason. Bald head, that kind of thing. Be respectful and be mindful of flows of traffic. If you're in suit, you don't want to take up the entire lane of traffic. Like in a tight dealer's room or in the corridor in front of registration here. There's as I was reminded that keep the lanes free. Also, although you have a license for clowning around, be respectful of other people's panels and presentations and things. You don't want to go in and heckle someone's panel or interrupt them, or it's kind of a point of respect there as well. It's something to keep in mind. Unless you have prearranged permission from said person. Another point, something that's kind of a bit of something that bugs me a bit is walking around headless. Now, there isn't a rule saying that you're not allowed to, but I'm kind of that old school that I have a character and I want to maintain that character integrity, so I won't go around headless. If I'm hot, I'll go to the headless lounge or back to my room, take a break there. I try to maintain the full character when in suit, or at least to the point that maintain the full costume.
You've been doing this too long.
Yeah. Back in my day, get off my lawn. So yeah, it's a point of my personal preference that that's why we have headless lounges, and I don't go so far as to tell other people not to do this, because your suit, your rules. This is your suit. You've invested the money and time and effort into getting this suit, and if this is the way you want to portray this character, or if it's maybe not a character, maybe this is something that people have their own way of expressing themselves and how they want to be seen. That if it's not my place to dictate that. So there's been a whole stink for years about people not going around with their heads off. So, point of personal preference. Your mileage may vary. Basic rule. People familiar with the 621 rule? I think people have had this drilled into them for a while. This is just a general convention rule, and it helps with just the basic ground level of 6 hours of sleep, 2 meals a day, 1 shower. And if you're suiting, probably more than 1 shower. Another point of personal preference is that I won't shower before, I will shower after. And if I'm going to be getting back in suit, I will likely take a cold or not a hot shower. I don't have any empirical data to back this up, but when you're taking a hot shower, it opens up the pores, you absorb more water, and when you get back in suit, that water just comes right back out as more sweat. So if you're taking a colder shower, pores tend to be more closed. You don't absorb as much water and don't sweat as much. Notes actually from Anthropon that about dibs on the elevator. I don't think that necessarily is a problem here since it's pretty low.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Give it time, we'll break one or two.
No, at least it's not that tall a hotel. That
One of the things from security standpoint,
uh-huh.
the only time that fursuiters have priority
Mm-hmm.
on the elevators is just before and just after the fursuit parade. Any other time,
Mm-hmm.
we absolutely adore fursuiters, but you wait with everybody else.
Or you two think to death.
Or I run you over with my 600-pound power chair.
Yeah, but not everybody has those.
No.
Important safety tip. Thank you.
Wash those toes.
Actually, I have a quick question.
Sure.
What's the worst case scenario? Let's say you're performing and doing something, and the worst thing happens, and your first suit is damaged or torn. Any hints or advice on situations like that?
Well, the question is, have you damaged yourself in this situation? If you damage yourself, if it's something severe, like you've broken something, that would be a good thing to have. If you have a handler, have them get help. If you're by yourself and you break something, I don't know how best to say. Just ask for help. You know, I've fallen and I can't get up, that sort of thing. That I don't mean to make light of it, but find someone on staff. And from way back in my staff days, the first one is to call ConOps, someone who has first aid training to look at you and take care of you in that case. But if it's not as severe, if you've broken something on your suit or torn something, at that point you want to triage, figure, do you have to take the suit off? Do you have to take a part off? If it's my personal preference, I would try to maintain the suit. But if like an ear comes off, I'll want to go to the headless lounge to evaluate things more, or back to my room where I've got like a kit to fix things and sew things back on. Some headless lounges will have a repair kit of varying degrees with needle, thread, sewing machine, that kind of thing. Figure out what the damage is there.
That's fair. That's what council has some fursuiters going around, surely something is there.
Yeah, I've been curious about that, but kind of maintain to figure your level of how strenuous you can interact with other people and.
I just wanted to interject there.
Sure.
If you're seriously injured in something like take your head off,
Yeah.
it's immediately not part of the act, and it gives people better access to you. Without you, there's no act. Yeah. So, sorry to ruin the magic, but if one of your limbs is bending in a direction it shouldn't, take your head off.
Yeah. That's another point. You're not a professional mask guy. You don't take your head off. You can't take your head off. You don't have to be Mariner Moose who broke his ankle and was carted off the field with his head on. So you're not the Moose. Looks like Belmont's here. Hi, Belmont. Thanks for showing. No. He's maintaining the character.
Showed up at the last minute.
There you go. He's fashionably late. We only have 7 minutes
He
left.
doesn't even wear anything. How can you say it's fashionable?
He's au naturel.
Fashionable
Nice
enough for me.
Any more questions? Questions about about performance, about maintenance, about yes.
I actually am kind of afraid of fursuits heads and
Uh-huh.
being in them.
Okay.
So do you have any advice on getting over that potentially?
Personally, I think if you can get your mind on the idea that this is an extension of yourself rather than you're putting your head inside some big object, that can help. Maybe even if you can watch yourself get in suit in a mirror, perhaps that will help reinforce that. But this is kind of off the top of my head. I don't have specific experience with that.
I feel for it too, and I basically, even as I'm trying to get the whole thing on, I definitely watch myself in the mirror as I put it on, watch that transition to that character, do it over and over again, and it actually somehow tricks my mind so I don't get that response. I know what you're talking about.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks, Axel. Belmont, would you like to introduce yourself? No, I didn't think so. Well, you're our only suitor here. When I do these panels, I kind of tailor them to the audience, that, how many suits versus non-suits there are. You know, if there's no one in suit, then I'll just talk for the entire hour and stumble over things. Yeah. We have an opportunity. You can express yourself and show some emotions. Because no, you don't want to be my guinea pig here.
No, that's
So just
denial.
take attention away from me stumbling over my presentation. See, notice the walk is different, and when you're in suit, everything's a prop. And just eat the eraser. It's not a candy bar.
It was an eraser.
Now it's now you've got chalk dust marker dust all over. Where are you going? No. Oh, that's not a picture frame to throw over someone's head. No, don't climb on top of it. But, anything you're doing in suit becomes your own responsibility there. That you want to maintain things in reason. Keep mindful of everything around you. Don't climb on things. If you climb on things, you're taking your risk into your hand, your own paws. Yes, be respectful of other people's property. No, don't take someone's
Someone's apple.
don't take my iFruit.
You eat androids? Windows phones? I thought those were an exception.
Notice how he's kind of carrying himself differently rather than as just someone generally walking. He has a particular walk, the way he's lifting his paws when he's walking and carrying his arms up at a different level, and just generally being bigger than life. This is doing the YMCA and knocking over his ear clip with the world on it. Let me put this back on here for you. Yep, there we go. All right, thank you. Thank you for coming and saving me at my panel here. We have 3 minutes left, so I guess if Belmont here is done heckling me, no, he's not done heckling me. So if anyone has any last questions, go ahead and let me know here. Anybody? I should just let you lead the panel next time. No.
These guys just happen so early, not everyone's in suit yet.
That's true.
There's some people still at work too.
Yeah.
Why don't you just introduce yourself? If you haven't mentioned before.
I did the beginning. Well, I can introduce myself again. I go by Yippee, or Yippee Coyote. That's the name of my main suit. I generally go by my real name, which is Jimmy Chin. I am a performer and fursuiter for almost 20 years now, or something like that. And as I mentioned, I've done professional mascot work with Major League Baseball, Major League Soccer, and I've worked at Six Flags. No, I've never worked with a basketball team. No, no basketball. Sorry, Ben.
Space Jam?
No.
Space Jam?
Sorry. I did work at Six Flags during the whole Space Jam thing. So I was a coyote. I was not generally not the bunny. Not officially. Yes, that's a performing group that we've been doing public appearances in the San Francisco Bay Area since '97. Did a number of holiday parades and also working with Children's Fairyland in Oakland. So that's my resume line, and it's a minute to noon. So if there are no more questions, I can go ahead and adjourn. And thanks, folks, for showing up and showing interest in fursuiting. And best of luck for those of you who are acquiring suits soon.